Stop right there. Stop scrolling for a second and forget whatever was on your mind 10 seconds ago, because this changes everything you thought you knew about Hollywood's favorite power couple. Every polished magazine cover, every smiling red carpet pose, every staged paparazzi shot suddenly looks completely different once you hear what's really happening behind the scenes. These people do not simply dislike her. It goes way deeper than that. They do not want her around their circles, their parties, or their business deals. The vibe has turned ice cold, and this is not just random gossip floating around online from bitter strangers. We are talking about the most connected women in Hollywood, the wives, insiders, and elite gatekeepers who control the biggest rooms in entertainment. Nicole Avant, married to Netflix boss Ted Sarandos. Anna Wintour, the untouchable queen of Vogue. Lauren Sanchez, now officially Mrs. Bezos. The Kardashians, Bella Bajaria at Netflix. These women are serious power players. One quiet recommendation from them can launch somebody into superstardom, and one private rejection can slam doors shut fast. And one by one, the connections started disappearing. Calls stopped getting answered, invitations vanished, tags disappeared from social media, unfollows happened quietly. Even longtime industry friendships suddenly went silent. Hollywood insiders are now saying the shift became impossible to ignore. Before this is over, I'm breaking down exactly how every fallout happened, the names, the awkward moments, the private insults insiders claim destroyed relationships, and the Daily Mail investigation that dragged all of this drama into the spotlight. But that's not even the wildest part. Because while Hollywood circles are freezing them out, something very different is happening across the Atlantic with the British royal family. Something major is happening right now, and the wild part is how calm and quiet it all looks from the outside. No screaming headlines, no dramatic public fights, just door after door slowly closing. By the time people fully realize what's going on, the entire 7-year saga could already be flipped upside down. This is not random bad luck hitting Meghan Markle out of nowhere. According to insiders and recent reporting, this looks more like a long, steady freeze-out happening piece by piece, hinge by hinge. The Daily Mail's editor-at-large, Alison Beauchoff, just dropped one of the harshest investigations of the year, laying out why so many powerful Hollywood women reportedly pulled away from Meghan. And the details had people talking everywhere. A lot of these stories and rumors have been floating around for months, but seeing everything collected together in one report makes the situation hit very differently. It doesn't just describe tension in Hollywood circles, it paints a picture of relationships slowly falling apart over time. One of the biggest signs people keep pointing to is the fashion world. Meghan has clearly shown interest in building herself as a major fashion figure, and many insiders believe branding and lifestyle deals are meant to support the expensive Montecito image. But despite all of that, she and Harry reportedly missed out on another invitation to the Met Gala, not once, but twice in a row. And this is not just any event. The Met Gala is the biggest night in fashion, packed with celebrities, billionaires, media giants, and industry elites. For years, people have speculated that Meghan wanted a seat inside that room, but once again, it did not happen. And the silence didn't stop there. During King Charles' recent visit to the United States, Harry and Meghan were noticeably missing from every major event connected to the trip. No fundraisers, no receptions, no high-profile dinners, no glamorous social appearances. While British high society and American power players mixed together all week, the Sussexes were nowhere to be seen. That absence sparked even more conversation online and inside media circles. Then came another detail that really caught attention. Prince Harry's longtime friend Guy Pelly attended a White House garden party with his wife during the same week. For many royal watchers, that moment quietly said a lot about who is still welcomed into certain elite spaces, and who may no longer be part of the inner circle anymore. Yes, the same Guy Pelly who stood beside Prince Harry during that infamous 2005 costume scandal is still moving comfortably through elite circles today. That detail alone has people raising eyebrows everywhere. Guy Pelly was recently seen attending a White House garden party with his wife, welcomed into one of the most exclusive political events in America. Meanwhile, Harry and Meghan were completely absent from the scene. The contrast could not be more obvious. For a lot of royal watchers, that comparison says everything. Someone tied to one of Harry's most controversial moments from his younger years is still accepted in high society circles, while the Duke and Duchess of Sussex seem to be getting pushed further outside the room. Fair or unfair, that's the perception growing around Hollywood and political circles right now. Then things got even louder after comments from President Trump during an interview with British journalist Robert Hardman. Trump reportedly said Harry had done too many things to fully return to his family's good side before adding, "That wife of his, boy, what has she done to that guy?" That quote exploded online almost immediately and became another headline feeding the non-stop Sussex discussion. Think about how unusual that is for a second. A sitting American president publicly commenting on Prince Harry's marriage inside the Oval Office instantly turns private celebrity drama into international conversation. Once political leaders start weighing in, the spotlight gets even harsher, and suddenly this is not just entertainment gossip anymore. Now this is where the Daily Mail report really shifts gears and starts sounding much more serious. According to the article, multiple insiders described the situation as a chain reaction of broken relationships, industry fallout, and growing isolation. In the circles where major deals happen, invitations get handed out and careers are quietly protected. Sources claim Harry and Meghan are struggling to maintain strong connections. One source quoted in the report allegedly said, "They have truly lost the plot. I hear she is spiraling badly because she knows nothing is working. The whole thing about her always selling out is not true anymore. I do not think either of them are happy." That statement quickly became one of the most talked about parts of the investigation. The report also claims their biggest issue may not just be bad publicity, but repeated fallout with powerful people who could have helped them build long-term success. According to these insiders, relationships inside Hollywood and media circles reportedly kept breaking down over time, making it harder for the couple to secure the kind of support and influence they once seemed to have. Now this is where the story really starts getting messy. Let's go name by name, fallout by fallout, because the deeper this goes, the more shocking the pattern becomes. First up is Anna Wintour, the powerhouse behind Vogue and one of the most feared figures in the fashion world. This is a woman with serious influence. A single invite from Anna can change someone's status overnight, and being frozen out by her can quietly close major doors across New York, London, Milan, and Paris. According to reports and industry chatter, Meghan aligned herself closely with Edward Enninful while he was running British Vogue. At the time, many insiders believed that move created tension with Anna Wintour. In fashion circles, people pay attention to loyalty and alliances, and sources claim Anna was not impressed by how everything played out. But here's where the situation takes an awkward turn. Meghan reportedly also ended up drifting apart from Edward Enninful later on, though the exact reasons were never fully explained publicly. So after backing one side during the Vogue power struggle, that relationship allegedly fell apart too. For critics watching from the outside, the whole thing started looking like a string of burned bridges happening one after another. One source quoted in the Daily Mail report claimed, "Anna hates her. Meghan does not want to pay and never returns things. Also, Anna loves the royal family. She is a dame. Anna would have hated how the Sussexes handled their exit from the firm." That quote immediately spread across social media and celebrity gossip circles because of how blunt it sounded. And when it comes to Anna Wintour, insiders often describe her as someone who rarely changes her opinion once a relationship goes cold. In fashion media, her reputation for being extremely selective and extremely tough has followed her for decades. So even though Meghan's connection with Edward Enninful reportedly faded too, many people believe there may not be an easy path back into Anna's inner circle anytime soon. What makes this even more surreal is what happened next. Edward Enninful was recently photographed in New York attending a gala alongside King Charles himself. Think about that contrast for a second. The same editor Meghan reportedly sided with during all this Vogue drama is still appearing comfortably around top royal and fashion circles, still networking at elite events, and still moving through powerful rooms with ease. Edward Enninful is still moving through the biggest rooms in fashion and media. He is still connected, still photographed with major figures, and still treated like an important player. The difference now, according to all the chatter, is that his connection to Meghan appears finished. That's why critics keep saying she backed the wrong side, lost important allies anyway, and somehow ended up outside both circles at the same time. Now let's get into Lauren Sanchez, because this part may be the biggest social misstep in the entire story. Meghan has long been linked to rumors about wanting stronger ties inside billionaire and fashion circles, especially around events like the Met Gala. And right now, Lauren Sanchez and Jeff Bezos sit at the center of one of the most powerful celebrity networks in America. Between the luxury yacht lifestyle, massive media attention, fashion campaigns, and billionaire influence, Lauren's profile has exploded in recent years. A lot of people believe Meghan wanted access to that world badly. The elite parties, the giant media exposure, the connections, the status, all of it. But according to claims in the Daily Mail report, things reportedly went sideways before Bezos and Sanchez's huge wedding celebrations even happened. The report alleges Meghan was invited to events connected to Lauren Sanchez but chose not to attend because she allegedly did not want to be associated too closely with her. One source claimed Meghan viewed Lauren as trashy. That quote instantly caused a storm online because people saw it as a huge miscalculation considering Lauren's current influence and social reach. And here's why the backlash became so intense. Lauren Sanchez is no longer just a celebrity girlfriend or tabloid figure. She is now tied directly to one of the richest and most connected men on earth. Her circle includes billionaires, media executives, political figures, fashion leaders, and major celebrities. In Hollywood and elite society, relationships matter, and critics believe dismissing someone with that level of influence can backfire fast. According to the report, that fallout may have come with consequences. Meghan was not seen at the Bezos wedding, one of the most talked about celebrity events of the year. The guest list alone had social media in a frenzy because it included royalty, billionaires, global elites, and entertainment powerhouses from all over the world. And this is the detail that really fueled online conversation. Queen Rania of Jordan attended the wedding. Crown Prince Hussein was there too, along with Princess Rajwa and other major international figures. Real working royals, political leaders, and elite celebrities all gathered in the same space while Meghan and Harry remained far from the event. For royal watchers, the symbolism became impossible to ignore. Meghan once represented a modern royal image that dominated headlines around the world, but now major global events tied to wealth, influence, and royalty are happening without her presence. Fair or unfair, many critics see moments like this as proof that some of the doors she once had access to may no longer be opening the same way anymore. Now let's talk about the Kardashians, because this situation feels a little different from the others. It may not be full-on hostility, but according to reports and insider chatter, the excitement around Meghan and Harry inside Kardashian circles appears to have cooled off in a major way. Daily Mail writer Alison Boshoff even stated, "The Kardashians have had enough of Harry and Meghan. They are over them." That line alone got a lot of attention online. And honestly, when you are trying to build a huge lifestyle brand powered by social media, connections with the Kardashian empire could be incredibly valuable. The Kardashians practically wrote the blueprint for turning attention, branding, and online influence into billions of dollars. But lately, people have noticed little signs that the connection may not be what it once seemed. One detail that sparked gossip was Kris Jenner reportedly not interacting with Meghan's Instagram content for a long time. No likes, no public support, no visible engagement. In Hollywood circles, those tiny social media moves can sometimes say a lot more than public statements ever do. Industry watchers often describe this kind of quiet distance as the first stage of the famous Hollywood freeze-out. But the most dramatic fallout in the report may involve Netflix and one of the biggest deals Harry and Meghan ever signed. Ted Sarandos, the co-CEO of Netflix, was the executive who helped bring the Sussexes into the streaming world with that massive partnership that was supposed to launch them as major content creators. And according to the report, Sarandos and his wife Nicole Avant genuinely tried to support the couple publicly. The article points to an event earlier this year connected to the Netflix series Beef, where Harry and Meghan attended alongside major entertainment figures. But once again, the situation reportedly became awkward behind the scenes. Photos from the event featuring Meghan, Harry, and Nicole Avant were suddenly removed from Getty Images shortly after publication, even though Netflix had reportedly approved them beforehand. According to claims in the report, the issue may have centered on how Meghan felt she appeared in the photos, especially images where she seemed very physically attached to Nicole Avant. The article specifically used the word clinging, which immediately became a talking point across celebrity media and online discussions. If true, insiders say the situation created even more tension because the images were reportedly removed despite Netflix supporting their release in the first place. For critics watching this unfold, it became another example of relationships inside powerful Hollywood circles growing more strained at exactly the moment Harry and Meghan may need those alliances the most. And then comes the line from the report that really shocked people in Hollywood circles. According to the Daily Mail article, Nicole Avant hates her, so does Bella Baharia, the head of content at Netflix, and so does Ted himself. Those are not random names. These are some of the most influential figures connected to the streaming giant that once signed Harry and Meghan to one of the biggest celebrity media deals in years. The report also claims there was alleged behind-the-scenes tension involving Netflix executives and members of the Sussex team. Sources say negative briefings were supposedly happening privately, though it remains unclear whether Harry and Meghan personally approved any of it or whether people around them acted on their own. Either way, insiders believe the damage was already done long before the public started hearing about it. And in Hollywood, people rarely forget this kind of drama. According to the article, Netflix leadership became fully aware of the situation, and the fallout allegedly stayed in people's minds afterward. The report included another sharp quote from a source who claimed, "Unless someone is of use to them with money or unwavering attention, the Sussexes always fall out with them. They are worse at dealing with people than they are with business." That statement quickly spread online because of how direct and personal it sounded. Now look at the bigger picture being painted here. According to these reports and insider claims, relationships with major Hollywood figures appear to have weakened one after another. Nicole Avant, Bella Baharia, Anna Wintour, Lauren Sanchez, even Kardashian connections reportedly cooling off. Critics argue this no longer looks like random bad luck or unfortunate timing. They believe it reflects years of strained relationships, social missteps, and difficult industry politics building up behind the scenes. And this is the part many commentators keep coming back to. Harry and Meghan stepped away from royal duties years ago and planted themselves directly in the middle of Hollywood life. They had global fame, endless media attention, huge business opportunities, and access to rooms most people could never even dream about entering. For a long time, nearly every major entertainment company and celebrity circle seemed willing to give them a chance, but now people are starting to ask what lasting success actually came from all that access. Outside of the Netflix documentary Prince Harry's memoir and a few headline-grabbing interviews, critics say there has not yet been a defining entertainment project or major cultural breakthrough that fully delivered on the massive expectations surrounding the couple. According to critics, after all these years in Hollywood, there still has not been a massive breakout brand or entertainment empire tied directly to Harry and Meghan. No huge production company dominating the industry, no major lifestyle business scaled into a billion-dollar machine, and no long-running hit project that completely changed the game. Instead, people keep circling back to the same question: what exactly came from all the hype surrounding their move into California? A lot of discussion has centered around Meghan's lifestyle branding efforts, especially projects connected to media partnerships and streaming support. Some commentators argue those ventures were heavily boosted by Netflix resources and connections from the beginning, even while Meghan publicly spoke about them as personal successes. Now, with rumors swirling that Netflix may be distancing itself, critics believe the company could be stepping back from the entire situation quietly rather than making a public spectacle out of it. For years, online commentators have accused the couple of relying too heavily on celebrity friendships, luxury connections, and borrowed influence instead of building something fully independent. Private jets, elite mansions, billionaire circles, high-profile events, all of it became part of the image surrounding them. But in Hollywood, relationships are often transactional, and insiders claim people eventually start asking what value is being exchanged on both sides. When Harry and Meghan were still senior working royals, their status alone carried enormous influence. They represented direct ties to the monarchy, royal tradition, and the global attention surrounding the crown. For celebrities, executives, and billionaires, proximity to that kind of institution held serious social value. But critics argue something shifted during King Charles' recent US-connected events, where Harry and Meghan were nowhere to be seen. For some Hollywood observers, that absence publicly answered a question people had quietly wondered about for years: whether staying close to the Sussexes still offered meaningful access to the royal family itself. After those events, many commentators felt the answer became much clearer. One of the biggest controversies in the report remains the alleged fallout with Lauren Sanchez and Jeff Bezos. According to claims repeated in celebrity media circles, Meghan reportedly dismissed Sanchez in private before Sanchez's rise into elite billionaire society became even bigger. That accusation sparked huge backlash online because many people saw it as a major social and strategic misread given Lauren's current influence and visibility. Critics say the choices Meghan Markle made over the last 6 years ended up hurting her image far more than helping it. According to harsh commentary surrounding the Daily Mail report, the constant push for celebrity branding, luxury status, and high-profile attention created an impression that many Hollywood insiders eventually grew tired of. Online discussions especially exploded around claims that Meghan underestimated people like Lauren Sanchez while trying to build her own billionaire-style lifestyle empire. Because here's the thing people keep pointing out. Meghan reportedly wanted to create something massive in Hollywood, a global lifestyle brand with the influence of Goop, the Kardashians, or other celebrity business empires tied to fashion, wellness, and luxury culture. That ambition was never exactly hidden. From streaming deals to branding launches to media partnerships, the goal seemed aimed at building long-term celebrity power far beyond royal life. But according to critics, several relationships connected to that world reportedly fell apart at the exact wrong time. Lauren Sanchez and Jeff Bezos, Anna Wintour, Kardashian circles, Netflix executives. Some commentators argue those were precisely the kinds of connections someone would normally protect carefully while trying to establish themselves in elite Hollywood spaces. That's why people online have started calling the entire situation less of a strategy and more of a slow-motion collapse. Instead of strengthening ties to billionaires, fashion leaders, and entertainment executives, reports now describe growing distance from many of those same circles. Fair or unfair, the narrative around Harry and Meghan in Hollywood has clearly shifted over the last few years, especially among celebrity media outlets and industry insiders. But the Hollywood drama may only be one side of the bigger story unfolding right now. Because while all this alleged social fallout has been happening in California, royal watchers believe something equally important has been unfolding across the Atlantic involving Prince Harry and the royal family itself. King Charles' recent US-connected visit became a huge talking point for exactly that reason. During a major state dinner, the king delivered a speech celebrating the deep historical relationship between Britain and America. On the surface, it sounded warm, polished, and diplomatic, but some royal commentators believe there may have been subtle messaging hidden underneath the speech that quietly reinforced Prince Harry's growing distance from the monarchy. According to those interpretations, the timing made everything feel almost symbolic. Harry and Meghan were absent from the major royal events and gatherings tied to the visit, while senior royals, diplomats, celebrities, and political figures continued carrying out official duties without them. For many royal watchers, that visual alone sparked endless discussion about how much the royal landscape has changed since the Sussexes stepped back from working royal life. Then came the moment that really caught attention. During the dinner, King Charles reportedly reflected on the historic connections between Britain and the United States, comparing them to looking through generations of family ties spread across time. Royal commentators immediately began analyzing every word, with some claiming the speech carried subtle emotional weight considering Harry's ongoing separation from the institution and family he once represented publicly. Then came the moment royal watchers cannot stop talking about. King Charles began warmly listing American places connected to British history, almost like he was casually flipping through generations of shared family memories. The tone sounded relaxed, charming, even playful at times. But people following every word closely immediately noticed something unusual happening beneath the surface. He mentioned the Carolinas. He mentioned Georgia. He brought up Charleston. There were references to Annapolis, Prince William County, and Williamsburg. One by one, names tied to British history and royal connections kept rolling out during the speech. And as this happened, commentators and royal analysts reportedly started waiting for one name in particular, Sussex. Many people expected the king to eventually mention Sussex County, the historic American county whose name naturally connects to Harry and Meghan's royal title. But it never happened, not once. For viewers paying close attention, the omission felt impossible to ignore because the speech included so many other geographic references tied to British heritage and royal history. And according to royal commentators, that was not the only noticeable absence. Harrisburg, Pennsylvania did not come up. Henry, West Virginia did not come up either. Even Markle, Indiana, yes, there is actually a town called Markle in Indiana, was completely left out of the speech. Online discussions exploded afterward as people debated whether these omissions were intentional symbolism or simply random coincidence. Still, many royal analysts believe the pattern looked far too specific to dismiss easily. The speech carefully acknowledged numerous historic connections between Britain and America, yet names connected in any obvious way to Harry and Meghan were absent from the final version delivered on the world stage. To be fair, some other names were also avoided. For example, Andrews Air Force Base was not mentioned either, something many commentators joked may have been intentional for completely separate royal reasons, but the Sussex omission quickly became the bigger conversation because of the ongoing tensions surrounding Prince Harry and the royal family. Critics and royal watchers now argue the speech may have carried a subtle diplomatic message hidden inside all the polished storytelling and historical references. Nothing aggressive, nothing openly hostile. Just a carefully controlled moment delivered in front of world leaders, political figures, and global media cameras where the Sussex connection quietly disappeared from the narrative entirely. And for many people following the royal drama over the years, that silence may have spoken louder than any direct statement ever could. According to some commentators, seeing the royal family continue its public duties, international appearances, and historic messaging without even indirect acknowledgement of Harry and Meghan reinforced how far removed the couple now appears from the institution they once represented at the center of global attention. Some royal commentators believe Meghan Markle may not be overly concerned about the latest royal tensions because her focus appears centered on Hollywood, branding, and media battles right now. But for Prince Harry, many people think this situation hits much deeper on a personal level. Critics argue that seeing his own family continue major royal events without publicly acknowledging him carries a very different emotional weight. And what really fueled the conversation was where all of this happened. Not through anonymous leaks or behind closed palace meetings, but during a major state dinner tied to the President of the United States and broadcast around the world. For royal analysts, that made the alleged omission feel far more symbolic than private family tension quietly staying behind palace walls. British journalist Robert Hardman, who has covered the monarchy for years, later discussed the theory that King Charles intentionally left out references connected to Harry and Meghan during the speech. Hardman also reportedly spoke directly with President Trump afterward, which only intensified speculation surrounding the entire situation. Once those reports spread, royal watchers started connecting every detail together and debating whether the speech had been crafted with a very deliberate message underneath the diplomacy. For many observers, the larger issue is not just one speech. It is what Prince Harry potentially lost over time. A lot of commentators believe there was once a path where Harry could have stepped back from full-time royal duties while still maintaining a positive and respectful relationship with the monarchy. He could have lived in the United States, pursued private projects, and occasionally represented royal interests in a softer, less official way. Some analysts even compare the situation to Princess Madeleine of Sweden, who spent years living in America while still maintaining respectful ties to the Swedish royal family. She balanced private life and royal responsibilities carefully, stayed largely out of public conflict, and kept strong connections with the institution she came from. Because of that, the relationship between her American life and royal identity never appeared completely broken. Critics argue Harry once had the chance to create something similar for himself. He already had global popularity, royal status, media attention, and strong public support. If the separation from royal life had unfolded more quietly and with less public conflict, some believe he could still have maintained meaningful ties with both Britain and the monarchy today. But according to many royal commentators, that possibility slowly disappeared after years of interviews, public accusations, documentaries, and ongoing family tension. Now, moments like the recent state visit only seem to reinforce how distant Harry appears from the royal institution he was once born directly into. Many royal commentators now believe Prince Harry has become increasingly isolated from the institution he once stood at the center of. According to ongoing debate in royal media, questions are growing louder about what his long-term role, if any, could look like within the monarchy moving forward. Some critics have even started speculating about whether future changes under King Charles or eventually Prince William could impact Harry's remaining royal status and titles. Right now, those discussions remain speculation, but royal watchers say the public signals coming from the palace feel very different compared to a few years ago. Every speech, every appearance, every omission now gets analyzed for hidden meaning and long-term strategy, and according to many commentators, King Charles' recent state dinner speech became one of the clearest examples yet of that careful royal messaging style. Nothing direct, nothing openly confrontational. Just subtle choices, quiet symbolism, and strategic wording that royal observers immediately began dissecting online and across British media. But while all this tension continues around Harry and Meghan, something very different has been happening on the other side of the Atlantic. The royal family recently released a new series of images and video clips featuring Princess Charlotte for her 11th birthday, and the reaction online was massive. The Wales family did not just post another formal portrait this time. They shared motion, personality, and small moments that felt far more personal and natural. Royal fans immediately noticed how polished yet relaxed the clips appeared, showing Charlotte outdoors, smiling and confidently taking part in activities with her family. One moment especially caught attention: Princess Charlotte bowling during a cricket session with impressive confidence for her age. Viewers quickly compared the footage to earlier birthday clips featuring Prince Louis, creating the image of a sporty, outdoors-focused royal family growing up very publicly but in a carefully controlled and positive way. And the messaging behind those images did not go unnoticed. The videos highlighted nature, family life, animals, outdoor activities, and a calm sense of stability around Prince William and Princess Catherine's children. Royal commentators argued this was not just a birthday tribute, it was strategic image building for the future of the monarchy. For many royal watchers, the contrast with the non-stop Harry and Meghan headlines could not have been sharper. While the Sussexes continue facing controversy, Hollywood rumors, and endless media drama, the Wales family is presenting a much softer and more grounded public image centered around tradition, family, and the next generation of royals growing up in front of the world. The clips of Princess Charlotte felt natural, relaxed, and carefully balanced in a way that immediately connected with the public. No giant production, no flashy celebrity-style rollout, just simple moments of a young royal growing up outdoors with her family. Royal fans praised how normal and grounded everything appeared, especially considering the enormous global attention surrounding the Wales children. And this is where the contrast becomes impossible for commentators to ignore. While Meghan Markle continues facing endless Hollywood rumors and speculation about elite social circles, the royal family across the Atlantic is quietly releasing warm family moments featuring the next generation of the monarchy. One side appears locked in non-stop celebrity controversy, while the other focuses on stability, tradition, and long-term public image. That difference is becoming a huge part of the public conversation right now. Royal analysts say the Wales family has been extremely strategic about how much access they give the public to Prince George, Princess Charlotte, and Prince Louis. Every photo and every short video feels carefully timed to strengthen the image of a modern but grounded royal family preparing for the future. And according to many observers, the public response has been overwhelmingly positive. Instead of chasing headlines through interviews or dramatic statements, Prince William and Princess Catherine seem focused on building trust slowly through consistency, family-centered messaging, and controlled public appearances. Now, this next part shifts into something many royal commentators believe has been misunderstood for months. Pressure had reportedly been building around Prince William and calls for greater transparency regarding his finances and tax contributions. Then over the weekend, British media reports claimed new details finally emerged about the scale of William's tax payments. According to reporting from the Sunday Times, Prince William is believed to pay an income tax bill reaching as high as £7 million per year. That figure instantly grabbed attention across the United Kingdom because of just how enormous it sounds compared to the average taxpayer. To put that into perspective, commentators pointed out that William's reported payments place him among the very highest taxpayers in the country. Royal supporters argued this showed the future king contributing substantial amounts privately for years without constantly publicizing it or turning it into a public relations campaign. Most of William's income reportedly comes from the Duchy of Cornwall. The historic estate, traditionally passed down to the heir to the throne since the 14th century, the estate controls massive land holdings, property interests, and investments worth well over £1 billion, generating tens of millions annually for the Prince of Wales. For years, Prince William reportedly resisted pressure to publicly detail his personal tax situation, arguing that he still deserved some financial privacy despite his public role. But now that figures are emerging publicly, royal commentators say the conversation around William's responsibilities, wealth, and future role as king is entering a completely different phase altogether. The history behind the Duchy of Cornwall is honestly hard to wrap your head around. This estate has existed since the 14th century, long before modern Britain even looked the way it does today. We are talking about a time when Geoffrey Chaucer was writing, the Black Death was still remembered by survivors, and the English language itself was still evolving. For centuries, the duchy has quietly funded the heir to the throne through land, property, and investments passed down generation after generation. But recently, that ancient system has faced growing public scrutiny. Investigations by the Sunday Times and Channel 4 Dispatches reportedly raised serious questions about how both the Duchy of Cornwall and the Duchy of Lancaster generate money. According to those reports, the estates earned millions through agreements involving public institutions such as the military, the NHS, schools, and other organizations using duchy-controlled land, waterways, and coastlines. The reporting sparked major debate across Britain because many people had no idea how deeply connected the duchies still are to modern public infrastructure and finances. After the investigations gained attention, some lease agreements were reportedly renegotiated, while pressure increased on King Charles and Prince William to become more transparent about finances linked to the estates. Then came the new financial figures that immediately dominated headlines. During the 2023-2024 financial year, the first full year Prince William personally managed the Duchy of Cornwall, the estate reportedly generated a record surplus of £23.6 million. According to media estimates, around £13.5 million of that income may have been taxable, potentially placing William's personal tax bill somewhere between £5 million and £7 million. Bounds I then million, 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 I then million. Kensington Palace later confirmed that the Prince of Wales pays the highest legal rate of income and capital gains tax on his private earnings, including money connected to the duchy. Supporters of the monarchy quickly pointed to those numbers as evidence that William contributes substantial amounts under the current system and follows standard tax obligations at the highest rate available. Critics, however, argue that public debate around royal wealth, inherited estates, and financial transparency is far from over. And that leads to the much bigger question now hanging over the entire conversation. Even with huge reported tax payments and greater financial openness, Will public pressure around royal privilege and inherited wealth actually fade anytime soon? Many analysts believe the answer is probably no. In modern Britain, scrutiny around monarchy, money, and fairness only seems to grow louder with every new report, every new investigation, and every fresh headline that pulls royal finances back into public focus. For critics of the monarchy, Prince William's reported 7 million townspeople is not the end of the conversation. It is only the beginning. Even after headlines revealed the future king may be among Britain's highest taxpayers, anti-monarchy campaigners quickly pushed for even more financial transparency surrounding royal wealth and spending. Now the pressure is reportedly shifting toward demands for deeper disclosures. Some critics want regular publication of tax returns, detailed breakdowns of household spending, trust information, investment structures, and clearer reporting on how royal estates operate financially. According to royal analysts, once institutions begin opening financial records publicly, the expectation for even greater access tends to grow fast rather than slow down. That is why many observers describe this as a difficult balancing act for Prince William and the monarchy overall. The challenge may no longer be whether to provide transparency, but how far that transparency should realistically go before it begins creating long-term complications for the institution itself. Because here's the key issue driving the debate right now. Investigations into the Duchy of Cornwall sparked criticism after reports claimed the estate charged organizations such as the NHS, the military, schools, and other public bodies for use of Duchy-controlled land and resources. For some critics, those arrangements raised questions about whether royal estates should profit from agreements involving public services. But defenders of the monarchy see the situation very differently. Supporters argue the Duchy of Cornwall operates as a massive private estate responsible for managing land, infrastructure, conservation projects, waterways, coastlines, agriculture, and property across huge parts of Britain. Running something on that scale involves enormous ongoing costs, maintenance responsibilities, legal obligations, and financial management. From that perspective, charging fees for land use is not unusual at all. Royal supporters point out that almost any large private landowner would typically charge organizations or businesses using privately controlled land, rivers, or facilities. In their view, the duchy is functioning similarly to other professionally managed estates rather than operating as a taxpayer-funded public service. And that argument connects directly to one of the monarchy's biggest long-term goals. The duchy system was originally designed to help the heir to the throne remain financially independent instead of relying entirely on direct public funding. Supporters say that structure actually reduces the burden on taxpayers over time, while critics continue arguing the entire system deserves far greater scrutiny and modernization. So even with increased financial disclosures now emerging, the wider debate surrounding royal wealth, privilege, and accountability appears nowhere close to ending anytime soon. And here is where the debate around the Duchy of Cornwall gets even more complicated. Some royal commentators have started raising a major legal and financial question that rarely gets discussed publicly. If anti-monarchy movements ever succeeded in abolishing the monarchy entirely, what would actually happen to the duchy itself? The Duchy of Cornwall has been tied to the heir to the throne since the 14th century. That means the estate existed for centuries under royal control long before modern political systems fully developed in Britain. Because of that history, some analysts argue there could be serious legal debate over whether the duchy would automatically become state property or remain tied to the royal family through long-standing private ownership rights. And that possibility creates an awkward contradiction for some monarchy critics. If the institution disappeared but the estate legally remained private family property, the royal family could theoretically keep control of enormous wealth and land holdings without the same public responsibilities attached to royal duties. Some commentators argue many campaigners pushing for total dismantling of the monarchy may not have fully considered that outcome. That is why supporters of Prince William believe he actually comes out of this entire financial debate looking relatively strong. Despite constant scrutiny, investigations, and public pressure, reports now show him paying one of the highest tax bills in Britain, while continuing to manage the duchy under existing legal structures. Royal defenders argue he has handled the situation carefully without turning it into a publicity campaign or constantly defending himself in the media. Of course, critics are unlikely to stop pushing for deeper transparency anytime soon. More investigations, more reporting, and more political debate around royal finances almost certainly remain ahead. But supporters say the current disclosures strengthen William's image as someone carrying major financial responsibility quietly rather than publicly seeking praise for it. And when people step back and compare the broader royal picture unfolding right now, the contrast becomes dramatic. On one side of the Atlantic, Harry and Meghan continue facing non-stop headlines about Hollywood tensions, social fallout, and fading elite connections. Reports about missing invitations, cooling celebrity relationships, and distance from powerful circles keep dominating entertainment coverage. On the other side, Prince William is being presented as a future king managing billion-pound estates, paying massive taxes, and carefully shaping the monarchy's long-term public image. Supporters see stability, continuity, and institutional responsibility. Critics see privilege and inherited power, but either way, the divide between the two royal paths now looks wider than ever before. Meanwhile, back in the United Kingdom, the image being presented could not look more different. You have the Prince and Princess of Wales raising 3 children who already attract praise from world leaders, athletes, and royal supporters alike. Even casual public moments, like Princess Charlotte confidently bowling at cricket during her birthday video, instantly become global talking points because people see a family that looks calm, prepared, and deeply connected to tradition. And that is really the heart of this entire story. One royal household appears trapped in endless celebrity drama, Hollywood tension, and constant battles for attention, while the other is playing the long game with patience, discipline, and careful image building year after year. Royal commentators keep saying the monarchy's greatest strength has never been speed or popularity. It has always been time. That's what makes this contrast so striking right now. While Meghan Markle reportedly keeps chasing elite invitations, billionaire circles, and Hollywood relevance, William and Catherine are quietly shaping the next generation of the royal family almost without saying a word. Prince George, Princess Charlotte, Prince Louis. Every carefully released image and every controlled public appearance adds another layer to that future. One side keeps burning bridges. The other keeps building foundations brick by brick. And years from now, many royal watchers believe we will look back at this exact period as the moment the two paths fully separated for good. If you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share this with anybody following the royal drama right now. And drop your thoughts in the comments below. Do you think Hollywood has really turned its back on Harry and Meghan, or is this all being blown way out of proportion?